talk?
Hi guys, today is another episode of GoNet Chat, and today we'll be
Wait, wait, wait,
doing.
wait, wait, wait. You're just gonna start talking and then you're not gonna introduce yourself. Introduce me.
I'm Jamil, and this is my dad Ryan.
Yeah, so we are Ryan and Jamil. So we're just gonna talk a little bit first. So a little bit about Jamil. So tell me what's been going on with you. What do you got going on tomorrow? What's going on in your
I
life?
have a basketball game tomorrow, and I'm going to be making all the shots,
All the shots.
and I'm going
How
to
many points
have
are you gonna
basketball
score?
teachers.
Because y'all only scored
At
like
least 3.
8 points last time.
At least 3.
What, 3 points? Or you gonna make three baskets, like 6 points?
3 baskets.
Three baskets, so 6 points. All right. Let's see what happens. Um, so we are doing this live stream today. One of the things we would like to see,
We're mixing it up.
we're gonna mix it up today. So normally, well, not normally. Sometimes we do one where we play some video games. Today we're gonna do more of a reaction video. So we're trying something a little bit different today. We want to see if we can get some audience participation.
So
And
hit those chats today.
yeah, hit that subscribe button. Let everybody else know about our page. We're raising money for Gwinnett Chat Outreach. We currently have a goal of 200 people donating at $5 a month. So anything that you can do, if you can spread the word on that, I would greatly appreciate it. And so, Jamil, you want to tell them what the video is, what we're going to be watching, and what's going to be going on with this video?
Today we're watching how did U.S. state get its name.
How did each U.S. state get its name?
We're gonna let you guys be a part of this video today and try to guess it in the chats.
Yeah, so if you're watching, if you can try to put the name, put your name of the state that you're trying to guess. So when we get to, let's say, Oklahoma, and you knew how Oklahoma got its name, we want to see who the first person is. So we want to see how fast we can get people knowing ahead of time. And maybe Jamil and I can try to throw some guesses in there.
And see who wins and gets the most guesses.
All right. So with that, I say
Let's get started. This is a
let's get
competition.
let's get started. All right. Happy Friday night. Oh, you can't hear it. Uh-oh. Let's see. Can you hear us though?
We will be right back.
Well, let's do this. I think you can hear us, but you can't hear the video. Is that what you're saying?
She said yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think I know what might have happened. So let's do this. So give us 1 second. All right.
I don't want to lose people.
Let's see. All right, let's try this again.
Ones have unclear origins, but we'll get to those in a minute.
Man,
Of the
can
50
you all hear
states,
the video
11
now?
are named after an individual person. Of those 11,
Can you all hear now?
So talk to us and see if you can hear the video now. I think it's still on delay.
While we're doing that, we should keep going.
Oh, okay, good.
Let's go.
Okay, good. I
Sorry,
think
guys.
we're still on a bit of a delay, you all, but we're good to go. We're going to get started.
Yeah.
7 are named in honor of European monarchs: the 2 Carolinas, the
Oh,
2
that's Bella.
Virginias,
That's on
Maryland,
there.
Louisiana, and Georgia. Over the years, several attempts have been made to name a state after one of the founding fathers or other great statesmen of U.S. history: the state of Franklin, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Washington, with only the last one becoming a state name. The origin of the names vary a lot, depending on each state, as we'll see now, but there is a somewhat common pattern in many of them, having the initial origin in a native tribal group of the region that led to the naming of a local river, then to a colonial territory that shared the name with the river, and then transitioning into statehood. So now let's go one by one and understand the known or predicted origin of each state. I posted timestamps in the description, by the way, so if you want to skip ahead to a specific state, you can use that. Starting with the 2 non-contiguous states.
Alaska. So does anybody know how Alaska got their name? Because so we want to make this a guessing game. We want everybody to play along. No Googling though, right? So
This is unfair.
Also, let's if you don't know, and then let's say you know Arizona, since it still starts with A. Let's see how many people can guess far enough ahead how it got its name, but going in alphabetical order.
I know how America was made.
Okay, so let's get started.
Alaska's name comes from a native language, Aleut, spoken in this chain of islands. They use the word Alasksak, which I'm mispronouncing, to describe the meaning of mainland, or if we literally translate it, the object towards which the action of the sea is directed. So the place where the waves hit, I guess. Alaska was...
That's actually pretty good, Bella. You said because of the cold glaciers. That's kind of sort of what he said.
Was first colonized by the Russian Empire, who then sold it to the United States. And this native word, Alyaska, the name the empire baptized their colony with in the year 1666. Hawaii's name origin...
Hawaii. Okay, so he didn't go in order. Does anybody know? Do you know what Hawaii might be?
I think it might be because from dances.
From a dance.
Yeah.
That was called Hawaii. I'm gonna have something. I'm gonna guess maybe a language or something that was maybe spoken there, or some type of plant, or native, something native to the island, like a plant or a tree or something. I don't know. So Bella says the dance.
On the other hand, is less certain. The first year in which the usage of the name Hawaii is registered was in 1879, with the original spelling having an apostrophe between the I's. The origin is uncertain because there are 2 hypotheses. One is it coming from Hawaii, meaning place of the gods, the mythological homeland of the Polynesians, and the other is it being named after Wailoa, a legendary discoverer of the Hawaiian Islands.
So
moving to the continental United States, let's start in the West Coast with California. California got its name from Spanish explorers, choosing the name Las Californias for the peninsula of Baja California and to Alta California, the region that became the present-day state of California. The name likely derived from the mythical island of California in the fictional story of Queen Calafia, as recorded in a book from the year 1510, The Adventures of Esplandian by Garci Rodriguez de Montalvo. In the story, this fictional queen fought alongside Muslim allies, and so some say the name may have been chosen by the author to be similar to the title of a Muslim leader, the Caliph.
Look,
In
Jamil, you get to
1846,
have a
the U.S.
good
conquered California from Mexico,
live stream
and the
and do
Spanish
some
name
learning at
was
the
kept.
same time. It's
California's
like how
name is therefore
sneak
likely
social
to have come
studies
from a
into
book.
this
And
day.
speaking of books, let me quickly tell you about the sponsor of today's video,
How do you
Blinkist. Are
feel
you like
about
me, who constantly
social
buys
studies on
books
a
but then
Friday
has
night
little
live
time to
streaming?
actually read them? If
Yo.
so, you might like
Why?
what Blinkist offers.
Because
Blinkist
I'm
is an app
learning, but
that condenses
on my
books into
YouTube.
15-minute
That's
reads or
great.
listening
we get to
sessions.
learn
They
some
take the
stuff
essential of
together,
over
so I'm
3,000
all for
nonfiction
it.
books and present it to you for quick consumption. And if you sometimes do happen to have the
what do
time,
you all
they
think
also
about
offer
this?
full-length audiobooks
Bella's
up to
all
65% off the regular price. 14 million
Anybody
people
else
already use Blinkist. I've tried it myself
like
and I
this
like it a lot.
strategy
I found some great book summaries about
of
history, one about
sneaking social
Alexander the
studies
Great
in on
and another
Friday
about
night?
Napoleon. In each of them, they summarize each
Maybe
of
the
these
parents,
great
I'm
generals'
guessing.
conquests in
Yeah.
just over 20 minutes. The first
Oh,
100 people
Bella,
to go to
that is great.
blinkist.com/general
Yeah.
knowledge are going to get unlimited
I
free
know
access
Mom's
for a
gonna
week
say
to try it
great.
out. You can
Yeah,
cancel
maybe.
anytime, and if you choose to continue
Mom,
on to a
I'm
full
waiting for
membership,
your
you'll get
comments.
25% off as well. So if you're interested, click the link in the description to try out
So long ad.
Blinkist. Next to California is Nevada. Also
Nevada.
No,
All right,
God.
there is a little bit of a person right here. So
It's from, I think it's from like these two trees and stuff.
trees. I'm seeing a guy right here that look like he has armor.
That was part of it.
That's part of it.
Mom!
But she loves it, of course. Okay, so let's see. Nevada. Maybe it has something to do with like a shield or an army or something.
Yeah.
Also having been named by the Spanish,
Oh.
most of these south/west
I
states
knew they
were
were
first part of the
Spanish.
Spanish colonial empire, then Mexico, and then finally conquered by the US. The name sort of means snow-covered and comes
Snow-covered.
from the local
I was
mountain
way
range,
off.
Sierra Nevada. Then Arizona. The
I
state's
was
name
close.
Arizona.
Arizona.
What could Arizona be?
Meteor?
I don't know.
Star?
I don't know. We're gonna see.
appears to
A war
originate from
hero.
an earlier Spanish name, Arizonac, which derives from the O'odham name
I'm
Ali
bad at
Sonak,
this.
meaning small spring.
Comment
O'odham
down
was
below
a
if you're
native
good at
language,
this
although
stuff.
some point out that the Basque language spoken in northern Spain also has the phrase Aritz Ona, which means the good oak, as
Good
there
oak.
were numerous Basque sheep herders in the area, but it's more likely that the origin is the native word. Apparently, there is a misconception that the state's name originated from the Spanish term arida zona, meaning arid zone. This is considered
nobody
a case
knows,
of
'cause
folk
it sounds like
etymology
they're
and
just
is not
making up
accurate.
stuff
But
at
if
this
there's no
point.
official record,
That's what
who
I'm gonna
knows?
do.
Further
And
north
there's
is
no
Oregon.
record.
The name origin of Oregon is
Oregon.
disputed and therefore
It's gonna
unknown.
have to
There
be
are
something
four
Spanish.
options.
Nobody
We have
even
in
knows what
Spanish,
language.
native, Portuguese, or French origin. The Spanish could
We're
have
gonna say
named it after the word
or
oregano,
maybe
referring to a
or.
plant which
Maybe
grows in the southern part of the region, after a stream in Spain called the Arroyo del Oregón, or after the term orejón, meaning big ear, with the J then turning into a G. The native origin possibility is evident in a 1765 petition to the British king. Robert Rogers, an American colonial frontiersman, wrote, and from thence the river called by the Indians Oregon. In 1904, the
Oregon.
local Sunset magazine argued the name came from a Portuguese explorer who had named it Ov Agua, meaning
at this
hearing
point,
water,
we just
after
have
the
to be
sound
like,
the
nobody
waterfall was
knows,
made, with that name
'cause
then being adapted to
everybody's
Oragua and then Oregon.
fucking
This
at
one
this
seems
point.
kind of a stretch, to
Why
be
is he
honest.
doing
Or
this
the
if he
French
doesn't know what
possibility,
he's
where the name
doing?
would come from
Well,
the
see,
spelling of
the
a local river as
Portuguese
Waricon,
said they
although
did
this
it,
would
and the
likely
French
be
said
an
that they
adaptation
did
of the
it,
native
and
name we saw in the
everybody's
second
So
option.
it's
Above
just a
Oregon is the
guy.
state of
Everyone
Washington.
just
This one is
taking
pretty
the picture.
straightforward. All we need to
Right.
do is look at the flag. It's named
Washington.
after George Washington.
They're
The
gonna
surname
Everybody
was,
should
in
have got
turn,
that
derived from
Yeah,
the town of
it was
Washington in the
obvious. I
historic
thought
county
was
of
at the
Durham,
first
England.
point
Oddly, the
started
territory
video.
was to be named Columbia, after the Columbia River, but they found the name too similar to the District of Columbia, the national
Did
capital,
anybody
which
guess
itself
that
contains a
Washington was
city
named
named
after
Washington.
George
And so,
Washington?
Washington
We
became
get
the
it
only
popular.
state named after a US president. To the east is Idaho.
Watch,
The name was
guys.
initially proposed
Tell
for the
people
colonial
to
territory
watch our
of
channel.
Colorado after
Yeah.
a supposed native term.
Support
But
Gwinnett
when people
Chat. We're looking
realized the
for
native term didn't
$5 a
exist,
month.
they abandoned
Oh,
the
we
idea.
just hit it
However,
up.
it was too late.
Okay, we
Years
got
later, it fell
viewers.
into common usage and ended up being proposed for the actual
Yeah.
name of the territory. An alternative etymology attributes the name to the Apache word
Maybe
Idahe,
we
which
should do more
means
videos.
enemy. An Apache term was also used by the Spanish to name Utah. Utah
Okay,
Utah.
so
I think this one might be.
does
Or-
anybody know what Utah? How did Utah get its name?
I think it was like from Spanish or the French or
You sound
or
like they said
Japanese.
from Oregon.
I do like we're all just guessing, right? Right?
Well,
but
we're
with a
gonna
Y
find out
from
for
the Apache
Utah.
term Yuda was the Spanish designation for the
Hey,
local
you-
people,
you
which
were in
meant
there.
high. After becoming part of the US, the term was adapted into English, becoming Utah. Back south, New Mexico. This one is pretty
Mexico?
straightforward too.
How do you think that one
Mexico?
got its name?
I should ask
N-
Danny that.
New Mexico.
They probably
Maybe they didn't want to be a part of the old Mexico. So they said,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? We're gonna be
make a new Mexico.
We're gonna be the
Like,
New Mexico.
They're like, no, that Mexico's too old. Let's make a new Mexico.
Okay.
We'll call it New Mexico.
Hey, let's see what happens.
From the Spanish Nuevo Mexico, meaning the new Mexico. In turn, the name Mexico comes
Wow.
from the Nahuatl native language, which referred to the Aztec people who founded
Wait, I learned
the city of Tenochtitlan.
Oh,
Colorado was also named by the Spanish in 1743. It roughly means colored, but in this case it meant ruddy or red,
Yeah,
originally
I didn't
referring
know
to the
that,
Colorado
actually.
River and its muddy color. Wyoming gets
Oh,
its
yeah, I
name from
learned
the
that last year.
Wyoming Valley in Pennsylvania, which itself got its name from a Munsee word, another native language. This one, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and it literally meant big river flat. Montana.
All right,
They
what do you
should've
think
named
about
the
Montana?
Mississippi. I think Montana's gonna be Asian.
Asian? No. Montana, it sounds like a tree
Hispanic?
or probably a mountain. Like, look, Montana's known for mountains. I'm guessing it's gonna be, I don't know what language.
Probably
Maybe Spanish for mountain. And I guarantee you that's what that is. I think that's what it is.
How much?
Montana is again super straightforward. It means
Nothing.
mountain in Spanish.
Hey,
Montaña
see?
del Norte was the name given by
You're
the early
right.
Spanish explorers to the entire mountainous region of western North America. It was proposed by the US government for the territory that ended up becoming Idaho, but then changed as they thought it had no meaning, only to be proposed in 1864, once again, for what is now Montana. There were some complaints, again, especially because it was somewhat misleading, since Montana
it has
itself
no
is
meaning.
not
You
that
could watch
mountainous,
film.
and the name of
It's a
Shoshone,
lot
a native tribe, was proposed, but the Committee of Territories ignored it and stuck with Montana. North and South Dakota have the same name minus the geographic indicator,
Dakotas?
named after the Dakota
That's what it is.
Sioux
Yep.
Native American tribes.
I
And
did know
Dakota
that.
is actually also a word in the language
there.
of these people, literally meaning allies
They
or
are?
friends. Nebraska's name comes from the native
Nebraska.
Shiwer.
Hey, we should ask your mom. Hey, your
Hey,
mom, she
Mom.
lived in Nebraska for a long time.
Uh,
She should know.
Mom,
So-
comment down below.
Your son
If you
really
know.
wants to know. Well, the answer's up there now, so she's gonna just type in the answer that's already there. But she is a Nebraska expert.
Specifically the word Nebraska, which literally means flattened water. It was first chosen as the name for the Nebraska River and then for the territory and state. I have to be honest, I was not aware so many states had a native origin in their names. Kansas is named after the Kansas River, which in turn was named after the Kansas Native Americans who lived along its banks. Tribe's name is often said to mean people of the south wind, although this was probably not the term's original meaning. In 1827, the Kansas Territory was
That's
established,
really
choosing this name for that reason. Arkansas
247.
That's Arkansas. What do you think that is?
I think it's also Spanish.
I'm gonna say what Arkansas. It probably has something to do with
It might be
Kansas.
English, actually.
Because if you look at it, it
Oh.
doesn't look like Arkansas. It looks like it says Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
So Look,
Or
your
Arkansas.
auntie said that she said it was named after corn.
It's corn. A big whopper nut. It has the juice. It has the juice.
I don't
I
know.
can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's corn.
Has
I
a
can
very
tell you
similar name,
how
just
bad
adding a prefix to the word, and the
Right.
origin is also similar. The name Arkansas initially applied to the Arkansas River. It derives from a French term, a plural for their transliteration of Akansa, an Algonquin
just
term
all
for the
wrong.
Kapau people. Akansa is likely also the root term for Kansa, which then led to the Kansas name. Oklahoma is the putting together of two Choctaw
Oh, that
words,
has-
Okla and Homa. In Choctaw, Okla means tribe or nation, and Homa means red, so Red Nation, although a rough translation could also be Indian Territory. Moving on to the biggest state of the continental 48,
Biggest thing. Texas, the
Whoa.
Lone Star State. What do you know about the Lone Star State?
That's big.
You know one fact that you probably don't remember?
What?
When you were 4 years old, it was the very first plane trip you ever
Oh
took.
yeah, that was my first plane trip to Texas, right?
It was your first plane trip, period.
I
We
know.
went to Houston. It's the first time you remember that trip? Remember Mima and Granddad? They came out
I kind of remember.
and we
it.
went to the beach with them. So I think it's the only
Yeah.
time we went to the beach with them. But yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when we went to the beach with them in Texas. You were so young. You were like 4 years old. But yeah. So anyway, we're gonna find out what Texas is.
Texas. Texas's name origin is in the word Taisha, which means friend in the native Caddo language. Oddly enough, during Spanish colonial rule in the 18th century, the area was briefly known as New Philippines, given that the Asian country was at the time also a Spanish colony. How weird would it be if that had stuck around and
Right.
Texas was, similarly to New York or New Jersey, now called New Philippines? Louisiana is again very
Texas?
straightforward, as was evident on the thumbnail.
Louisiana. Hmm.
Oh, Mom, I know what you're gonna say in the chat.
About what?
Don't say anything with purchase.
Oh yeah. You did just learn this. You got a 90
Oh,
on your
God.
social studies test though.
Yeah.
So it paid off. So you should know something about Louisiana.
Thumbnail of the video. It was named after Louis XIV, King
you
of
go.
France from 1643 to 1715. When René Robert Cavelier claimed the territory for France, he named it La Louisiane. So roughly, Louis plus Yann carries the idea of related to Louis or land of Louis. Once part of the French colonial empire, the Louisiana territory stretched from the Atlantic coast in the south to just north of the present-day Canada border. The territory was sold by the French to the United States in 1803 for $15 million. That's 4 cents an acre. This would be equivalent to around $300 million in today's money. Still a pretty cheap price for something that is equivalent to almost a third of the US's territory. Mississippi follows the
Mississippi. Where do you think Mississippi's names
But
come
Mississippi River?
from? That's a good guess. I'm gonna go with that too. Does anybody else know what Mississippi is about? How did it get its name?
the trend of being named after the local river, the Mississippi, which defines
Hey,
its
look,
western
you're
boundary.
right.
European settlers named it after the Ojibwe word Mississippi, which translates to Great River. The Missouri River also led to the naming
Missouri?
of the state of Missouri, and the river itself
knew
got
it.
its
I
name
was
from
gonna
the
say that.
indigenous Missouri natives. Following that method we saw was common at the start of the video: native tribe, river, colonial territory, and state. It is said that these specific natives were called the Wimisorita, meaning those who have dug
It
out
sounds like something
canoes. The name
completely
was
made up.
adapted and westernized according to how they
well,
pronounced it. Moving on to
well,
Iowa. Iowa
yeah,
derives its name
yeah.
from the Iowa people, one of the many Native American nations whose territory
Oh,
was within the
gosh.
future
I
states
can't
at the time
look at
of
that.
European
Don't say
colonization.
that.
Minnesota comes
Nice.
from the native Dakota designation for the Minnesota River, which got its
How did
name
he get
from
his
one
face
of
all
two
red?
words in Dakota,
paint.
Minnesota, which means clear blue water,
Did he
or
fix facing it?
Minnesota, which
Yeah,
means
so you
cloudy
see that.
water. Kind of an odd choice of words
I have to
considering they
watch some
sound so
videos
similar
on
but
music
mean
to learn
pretty
about
much the
Native
exact opposites. It is
culture.
said Dakota people
That's
demonstrated
what
the
a lot of
name
these
to early
states are named
settlers by
after. If you're
dropping
not
milk
paying
into
attention,
water and calling it Minnesota, which
so you
would
gotta
mean
pay
the
attention
cloudy
to what we're
meaning
watching
would be
too,
the right
along
one.
with
Next,
just
Wisconsin.
commenting.
The word Wisconsin originates from the name given to the Wisconsin River
See,
by
we're
one of
talking
the
about.
Algonquin-speaking tribes. French
See, they're just
explorer
talking about
Jacques
all of these
Marquette was the
tribes.
first European to reach the Wisconsin River, arriving in 1673 and calling the river Meskousing. Subsequent French writers changed the spelling to Wisconsin, and over time this
I'm
became the
glad
name
they
for both
changed
the
the
river
spelling.
and the surrounding lands. And then it was
To
adapted
work
into
on
English.
your
When it comes to Illinois, the state
art.
is named for the French adaptation of a native word, Ilenwiwa, which means speak normally. This adaptation was made by early French Catholic missionaries and explorers who
No.
referred to the local natives as such. Eventually, the
They look
state
like
was named
some-
after
they
that
look
tribe.
like
Michigan
some
has a
over
similar
there.
story, a native name adapted and rephrased into French. However, this one didn't refer to the local population. It was just a term they used to
Large
define
lake.
large water or large lake.
Makes sense.
Meshigami in the Ojibwe language. Let's jump to the
I like
northeast
water.
and go along the coast for the other ones, starting with Maine. The origin of the name Maine is unclear.
Maine.
One theory is that it was named after the French province of Maine.
Didn't
Another is that it derives from
No,
a
Maine
practical
is
nautical
at the
term,
top.
the mainland, and a more
It's
recent
in
proposal
Canada.
is that it was named
But it's
after
the
the
United
English village
States.
of Broadmain, which was the family estate of Sir Ferdinando Gorges, the colony's founder. A combination of the last two
So,
seems to be
who
the
else?
most likely. New Hampshire was named by
Hampshire.
English Captain John Mason. What
I would thought New Hampshire would be after like Hampshire in England.
Where is that statue?
It's in New Hampshire.
gotten a land patent to
Oh.
establish a colony in the area. After doing so, he named it New Hampshire after the county of Hampshire in England.
Hey,
Vermont's
I was
name
right.
comes from the combination of
Is
two
it
French
because
words,
they did it
vert
Green
and
to be
mount,
the old
green
Hampshire?
mountain.
I did
Vert
know
in
that.
French means green and mount means mount or
Green
mountain,
Mountain
likely
coffee.
because of the green mountains that characterize the state. In fact, the short-lived independent Vermont Republic used as its ensign the Green Mountain Boys flag. Massachusetts takes us back into native origins. The
That's
Massachusetts
like
Bay Colony was named after the indigenous population, whose name likely came from a native word, Muswakshasut. I'm really sorry I'm mispronouncing all of these, but I just couldn't find the proper pronunciation. And this term directly translates to big
has to be
mountain.
tough to
Moving
try
on to Rhode
to get all
Island.
these
Despite its name, most of Rhode Island is located on the mainland of the United States. Prior to 2020, the state's official name was State of Rhode Island and Providence
Okay,
Plantations,
times
which was
Imagine having
created
to write that
after the
down
merger
anyway.
of four colonial settlements.
to
In
take
2020, they
5
finally got rid of the
least
plantations
over
part
10
because of the
times.
negative historical connotation, and if nothing else, because it's not a plantation
definitely
anymore. It's
learning
not
a lot
certain
from
where
this.
the original name of Rhode Island came from, but
But
two
let's get rid of
historical
just
origins
all of this because let's go back to just us. We got about 2 more minutes left on the show. So sorry, y'all, we didn't make it through the whole video, but we're trying to keep the show right at 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm sure some people love the Nebraska one because go big
Wow.
red. Am I right?
Yeah.
Love some corn huskers.
It's corn. A big whopping. It has the juice. It has the juice.
I have never heard this song.
I can't
before.
imagine more beautiful thing. It's corn. I can tell you.
All right, that's enough. So if you all look on the bottom of the screen, the gwinnettchat.org/donate, we are doing our best. We would really like to get Gwinnett Chat Outreach up to this goal of 200 donors at $5 a month by the end of the year is our goal. So if you can tell people and let them know about the great work we're doing in the community, we'll appreciate it. But Jamil, you got any last words before we go? You're doing a lot of just gesturing over there. What do you want to say to the people before we go? I'll let you have the last words.
Tell people about corn.
What else?
And the YouTube channel.
Tell your friends at school, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? I'm about to say bye.
I'm good.
All right. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
All right.